we still stand up against that. Yes, we do. And over here, there's a bill about saving the unborn, about saving our babies, about abortion. There's a bill on the life changing rainforest. It comes up to the court in Lane on Saturday, Sunday, October 4th, 2:30 to 3:30. Come down, support these people. This is one of the biggest issues in society of health care. They say that the woman has the right to choose what about the unborn child and the woman. Does that child have a right also? I believe they say that God has created a life in darkness and submerged water over 9 months. And tell me that's not life. Tell me that child doesn't have your rights. Tell me we don't have to defend that. This is genocide, it's murder, that's what abortion is. We need to stand up against it. You're out there saying that life is so precious. God created that life. We don't know what that child is destined for, but there is an individual genius. And there's such potential there. Because God look at every one of us, everybody here, man, woman, or child. You created in the image of your Father. That you can do miraculous things through Him. Life is precious. Defend it, and always stand against people who try to take it away. Don't let them tell you abortion is things that's not in that health care bill. I'd like to give special thanks to some people, some businesses that have donated. We have the Picture Memorial Sports Club over here. They donated their time and money and their efforts to help us go through. We have Dr. Kingdom Health, the Eastern Psychological Association. We have Dr. Lewis G. Hayden, and this is one of my favorites, Dr. Lindsay J. Donnelly of Donnelly Chiropractic Life Center. That's my wife, she's not here today, she had another engagement. At this time, we're going to bring out our first speaker, and he's going to talk about the cap and trade. He's attorney Brad Toothey. Welcome, Brad.
I can't tell you how proud I am to be standing here among so many patriots. Thanks for having me. In my 26th year, our Congress created an abomination. The House of Representatives passed a bill called the Waxman-Markey Cap Trade Bill. Now, Congressman Waxman comes from California, where they think Nancy Pelosi is moderate. And Congressman Markey comes from Massachusetts, where they think Teddy Kennedy was a hero. Now, the cap and trade bill was 1,427 pages long, and as you probably remember, was largely unread by the congressmen that voted on it. Now, it's not over yet because Senate leaders are going to have to vote on this. The Senate leaders want to get this done this year because there's a global warming summit in Copenhagen at the end of the year, and they want to show that America's at the forefront of global warming stuff. So it's not too late to call Senator Casey, Senator Specter, and Ray Tell about this. Now, what I'm going to do in about 10 to 15 minutes is very briefly describe how this bill would work and give you 10 good reasons why every freedom-loving American should be against it. Cap and trade would strangle the American economy by capping emissions of so-called greenhouse gases beginning in the year 2012. Now, by 2050, when our kids are grown up, emissions are supposed to be reduced 83% below the levels that were in place in 2005. Think of how dramatic a constriction of American economic activity that would be. Now, the federal government is going to allocate emissions allowances to businesses. In other words, charging them money to do stuff that they do now for free. And how much money? Well, by 2019, the government will be collecting $675 billion a year in these allowances. Now, to give you an idea of how big a number that is, $675 billion is roughly what we spend on national defense. So imagine sucking that much money out of the economy and turning it over to the government, all in the name of global warming. Now, of course, a company that runs out of allowances has to go out and buy more allowances from the government. And that cost that that company is going to incur is going to be passed along to customers, people like us. It's going to be passed along when we buy gas. It's going to be passed along when we turn on the light switch at home. It's going to be passed along in every manufactured good in the United States. So what happens to American manufacturers? They start going to some other country where this tax is not imposed on them. Cap and trade will reduce the amount of energy available in our economy and therefore drive up energy costs. Under cap and trade, our government will be standing on our air hose. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why cap and trade is a bad idea for America. Number one, carbon dioxide is not a pollutant. It's plant food. What always to me is the people that are opposed to carbon dioxide call themselves Greens. Carbon dioxide is what makes the world green. They should be in favor of carbon dioxide. And you know, CO2 is what makes my Coca-Cola fizz. It's what makes my champagne bubbly. When I kiss my wife, I exhale. Am I spewing a pollutant in her face? I don't think so. Reason number two, the Earth isn't warming. Over the last 10 years, we've had a cooling trend. This is why the radicals have changed their rhetoric. They don't talk about global warming anymore. They talk about climate change. That covers just about anything. If the world did get warmer, we'd be better off. History teaches us we're better off with warmer weather. We have longer crop seasons, more food, better health, more prosperity. I'm all for global warming. Reason number three. Cap and trade is based on a lie. It's a lie that man warms the climate. God takes care of the climate. The sun takes care of the climate. We don't take care of the climate. Over 31,000 scientists have signed the Oregon petition, which says that there is no convincing scientific evidence that the human release of carbon dioxide is heating the Earth's atmosphere. Earlier this year, you may remember very scant media attention to an EPA scandal because the EPA officials suppressed an internal report that criticized EPA for pressing ahead with regulation of carbon dioxide when the science is not settled. The report noted that global temperatures have declined for the last 11 years, even though CO2 levels have increased. EPA suppressed this report saying, "You're too late, we've already made up our mind about that." Our government at work. Now, we taxpayers have already spent $79 billion on global research since 1989. Yet those scientists with all that money have found no empirical evidence that man-made CO2 is affecting global climate. Empirical evidence, such as measurements of the atmospheric temperature, show that we've been cooling since 1998. So instead of empirical evidence, because that doesn't work for them, the environmentalist crazies rely upon computer models. You ever hear of the hockey stick? They plugged in data that tended to show that the little ice age never occurred and all the temperatures were normal until modern times when they stuck up like that, like a hockey stick. Well, it turns out you could put almost any data about temperature and so on into that model, and you still get the same result. It was completely bogus. This is the kind of stuff that's driving the global warming hysteria. You know, it's funny, we don't believe Joe DiNardo's forecast for next week, but we're expected to wreck our whole economy based on unverifiable computer models